Seats with Penzola. Thank you for tuning in. Today I'm speaking to Umandla and Tebogo Malumane, and we are talking about marriage. We're talking about what society thinks around marriage and their traditional roles in the marriage. I mean, generally, men are considered to be breadwinners and handymen and masters of the home, and women are considered to be homemakers. Their primary role is to bear children, although we've seen an evolution in that marriage concept. And this is why we decided that this is a topic that we want to engage in Hot Seat, so that we can try and understand what are the gender roles in the marriage today, and where are we going to with this marriage concept. Guys, welcome to Hot Seat with Penzola, and thank you for making the time to come and share your personal story with me. Before we start, before we get to the crux of what we're going to talk about today, I really want to just understand who you guys are, when you met, and how long have you been together, and what has kept this marriage so successful? And I say successful because you're still together, Yeah, in that context.
I must say, my wife here, she's been the lazy one. I must tell you this, because I did the work.
Oh, you did the work?
She's accepted me, you know what I'm saying?
You have to work for it.
We've been together for almost what? Now I must be careful about the numbers.
Careful about the numbers, right?
Every time I say number, I feel heat.
So guys, let's align
So
numbers.
we've been together for almost 21 years and married for 14 of the 20 years.
That's correct.
Are you in agreement with the numbers?
Yes. I agree with the numbers. It's not my thing. But interesting enough, how it happened was that it was in Witstech. There's a third semester.
Yeah.
In Witstech. I mean, usually I've got this group of individuals who used to sit outside the library. Used to sit there and look at the crowds of individuals. Walking back and forth, trying to be the cool guys. And lo and behold, hey. Listen, when you're a youth, you are hunting. I don't care what anybody says. You are hunting. That's correct, you're hunting. You're not looking for marriage and love. There you are like, That's correct. And plus, also with Stake, at that time, we also challenged with the guys from SABC. Those guys, they with their financial power.
Yeah.
And then it shows externally in terms of the success. And then with like
the cars.
The German equipment. You're working hard.
Competition is tight.
Yeah. So anyway, she comes into this class, the first month, and I'm turning to my friend, I'm like, hey, there's this lady here, I've never seen in this class, Who is she? What's going on? Nobody knows about it because it's quiet. Middle is quiet in the background. So I decide, I'm going there, The first day, I didn't say, hey, how's your name? I said, hey, listen, give me your book. I started writing my number. I wrote my cell phone number on every single page. In your book. Yeah.
Guys.
For the first week.
Okay, guys, tell me this is not a true story. Literally.
I called me. This happened for the first week. Second week, it was, I used to meet in the library. I used to take her books, write my number on every single page.
When did you give in?
No.
I didn't make it that easy. I didn't make it that easy.
3 months. I think in the third month, I got desperate. I became that guy. That guy, can I please have my hugs? And one day she'll give me a hug, next day she'll not give me a hug, and I'll be like, what's going on? So anyway, we worked 3 months of working hard, and one day, I remember it was a Friday night, the boys came and took me, because it was a beer festival at I think it was St. Stadiums at that time. German festival. Went hard on the Friday, Saturday night, went hard. I remember lying in my bed on a Sunday morning, I get a call. I hear the voice.
Hey, damn girl, she's calling.
After 3 months.
After 3 months, And I'm like, you know what? I've been waiting for this call for 3 months. I cannot talk to you right now because I'm going to mess it up right now. I am not in a space of
You are hungover.
I said to her, can I please talk to you on Monday? Because today, if I say anything now, I'm going to mess it up. You remember that?
And then you said,
I said, well, okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk when you are yourself.
When you are, yeah, because it's gonna mess it up. But I like your honesty. I mean, you were quite clear that this was a chance.
That's correct. But guess what, Peter?
Yeah.
Guess what? In Kazangul, in the background, then my homies, the oaks, my folks, my kinfolk in the class, were busy. They also
That's
working
right.
in the background.
Yeah.
So she was making noise. We were having a competition amongst ourselves to try to get this. So
Oh, no.
You know what I'm saying?
Aish.
Oh.
You go, never know.
Yeah.
Be careful.
So you don't somehow they had a bet.
Yeah.
Who's
Who's
gonna
gonna
get
get
it
it
first?
first?
What do you never know?
Yeah.
I spent my whole, lunch money for the month.
But you could have been running on the bet still. I mean, you used everything you had. So I'm not really surprised at that assumption. Okay, and then fast forward 21 years later. You know?
Yeah, we here.
You here.
Yeah.
And family.
Still working hard.
You're still working hard.
No, I still
Ish,
work
my brother.
every day.
You have
Yeah.
to. You have
And then tell me about your family. Do you guys have kids?
Yes.
How many kids do you guys have?
We've got 2 beautiful kids,
Mm-hmm.
little girl and little boy, 12-year-old and 9-year-old.
So it's been a journey.
Been a blessing.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah. So let's get into this interesting topic around the gender roles. You know, how is that playing out in your marriage? You know, earlier on I mentioned around traditionally men have been seen as providers, men have been seen as those that make money and masters, and women generally your job is to bear children. Make the home warm. I don't know what that actually means, but anyway, that is what's the expectation of a woman. Do you fix the light bulbs? Is she the only one that cooks? Tell me about the roles in your marriage.
No.
No.
Light bulbs, no. Those things are outsourced in my house. Light bulbs, fixing a broken something.
Painting.
We outsource. Some things you must leave it to the professional.
Correct.
She bought you remember the shoe covers you bought, and then you asked me to
Almost
put it
broke my
together.
family.
Yeah, I'm
You were supposed to assemble that.
Yes,
Yeah,
you
and
don't
then-
take
and
a
then
note,
that's the
assemble.
cards. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, no, I must say,
I got the kids there.
it was stressful, him putting it together.
I got blisters on my hands, doing things. No. I
So
don't.
do you not feel like a failure? I mean, your son must see you, man. I said your son must see you assemble stuff.
Listen, in terms of failure and a man, because a man is a man that loves his wife, protects his kids, and they see that and they get another condition. The fact that you can't do certain things around the house, that's not okay. Like I'm teaching my son, listen, you can man up by saying I don't know.
Yeah.
And it's not a bad thing, you know what I'm saying? You're
Yeah.
good at one thing, you're bad at other thing. That's why we've been together 21 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She compliments my weakness, I compliment her strength, and I'm happy about it.
That's true. That's true. He's a good cook, though.
Good cook, I see.
Excellent cook, yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean,
So there's something, yeah.
I can't complain.
The meat.
And are you good? Are you a good cook as well?
If I may say so, yeah, I think I am.
When you want to cook,
Or when you want to
when
cook?
you want to do something.
But she's got the capabilities
I
there.
do
No,
this thing.
she surprised me. That like always like, oh, skipper. It's like it's a different move to here. What's going on in England?
That's how good I am.
So when she wants to, she puts you in there. Okay, great. Like, I mean, I love the fact that there's a level of comfort, and of course, after 21 years, there should be a level of comfort for you to be who you are, and be okay with the fact that the things that you don't know how to do. Be okay with cooking for your wife and your family.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And I really, really loved it, and I think this is why I wanted us to have this conversation. I am aware that it's definitely happening more and more, but I wanted to entrench this conversation and this school of thought, and then let's expand on it. And what is your view on submission in terms of marriage? Does that term actually exist?
Look, for me, yes, it does. So, but submission to me is, there cannot be a submission if there's no husband who's loving the wife. So the husband must love me enough for me to be able to submit to the husband. In that way, it makes it easier. We both complement each other. Wow.
When Nana.
Yeah,
So I'm that man.
that loves his wife.
Yeah, I would say you are that man.
Wow.
After 21 years, I think She would not stick around.
I wouldn't be here if you were not the man. So yeah, so submission, and for me, submission doesn't mean a woman is less than. So for me, I take it submission is actually a very powerful place for a woman to be, because you are in charge of a whole lot more than just, because if you look at it, you are like, for me, for example, you are like the producer of the show, because you're the one that makes sure that everything is in
It's
place.
coordinated and it's
Yes, it's coordinated.
And then the TV star can shine.
Then everything
in
can
front.
shine.
Yeah.
There has to be the star. Let the star shine. But the
person holding it together.
the producer's doing the job.
Wow.
You know? Yeah.
That's actually an awesome analogy. Okay.
I like
Are
it.
you? Oh, you like it?
Yeah, no, I thank you for recognizing it. I seriously like.
Do you have anything else to add to this profound saying that you just gave?
I'll cook you lunch tomorrow, definitely, 7 colors.
It's actually several.
Several.
Several. Not
Several.
seven. Several. There's a variety. Either way, we are not here to talk about several.
I will Google those things and then go through it.
Oh wow, okay, cool guys. The other thing that I wanted to touch base with you is, I mean, modern thinking couples are sometimes referred to as, there's this word, it's referred to as androgynous or androgynous.
It's a core.
Sorry.
But
It's actually androgynous.
I think so. Is androgynous?
Is it androgynous?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I mean, two partners share a number of personal traits, and I mean, you've already mentioned in terms of what the case is with you guys. You guys are kind of you complement each other. Whoever's got the strength does what needs to be done. And are there any other characteristics or things that each of you would wish that the other partner could do, even though it's not obviously not a showstopper for the marriage, but do you find that you sometimes do still fall back into this, but as a man you should be doing this, or as a woman you should be doing this? Does that ever happen?
Interestingly, we almost like not almost, but we are a biblical couple. Because we understand the traditional role of what a man's supposed to be in the family and what a woman is supposed to be in the family. So we've never had that discussion of we this and that, or we never found ourselves falling into. Maybe by default, I mean, my wife can go out for the whole weekend and she'll come back, I'll have washed the clothes, I'll fed the kids, I'll make sure the homework is done, all those things. But they're my kids, Who else must look after them? It's not about role reversal. You know what I'm saying?
I love that.
It's my kin.
I honestly love that.
If she's sick, I'll do that, vice versa,
Because your wife is also, she's a human before she is a wife.
Somebody grew her. She's somebody's child, somebody grew her, she's got her own desires, her own ambition. She's not me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not her. So that's what we have, that respect, that boundaries.
Wow, guys, I love this. I really do. I think that it makes a lot of things easier if we accept each other as people in a marriage or in a partnership versus boxing ourselves into this, but also understanding, like you said earlier on, that Mandla is your husband.
Yes.
He's got a responsibility of loving you as his wife, and you've also got a responsibility towards him.
Yes.
So more than anything, it's a responsibility towards each other.
That's true. Yeah.
Sometimes extended family complicates things. Whilst the 21 years together with your beautiful 2 kids has been awesome, and you guys are aligned. You've got a strategy as a family. Operationally, that strategy filters down, and you have a way of teaching your kids, and it's working. But extended family has a way of diluting that, and there are certain expectations. So, how are you managing the expectations of family towards the traditional role versus the kind of marriage that you have, that you've been working on? And I'll give you an example. For instance, at a family gathering, is Tebogo expected to dish up for you so that she shows that she's your wife? Or will it not be taboo for people to see you there in the stove dishing up for yourselves? Talk to me about that.
You know, when I introduced Tebogo to my family, I've always been that I don't know why people call it a black sheep. It's not a black sheep. It's a person who knows. Listen, this is what I'm for, and this is why I bring my wife and my woman for in the family. So I've never been influenced by my extended family. They never tell me what to do. They can advise. They can give content. But like when my father passed away, he said to me, "Man, you know what? Here's the family. Here's our Shinto. Here's how they do things. Né? But choose what's good for you and what doesn't work for you. Ignore it. Nobody can tell you what to do in terms of your life, how you do it. So I've always had that notion of my mother she can talk to me, yes, about anything, but she cannot dictate how I deal with my marriage, how I deal with my wife, my kids. Yes, I can use her experience in this regards, but it's not. I don't expect my wife to go dish up plates for me when I eat. Because I know for a fact that she'll come something out that I don't want to eat, you know what I'm saying? So I always tell her, listen, babes.
Let me go to for myself. We're coming on
100%.
Other stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, for scenery's sake, she'll ask me, babes, can I dish up or not?
Yeah.
But just for
But between
control.
the two of you, you guys know. But Mandla, I mean, you know, I did a show, one of the previous episodes I did was around mother-in-law, and in that conversation, quite a lot of stuff came in. How are you, would you say you protect her from your family if the need arises?
They know it. She knows it.
Yeah, no, I know.
Even to the fact that my auntie, don't talk about my auntie, tells.
Yeah, no, I can safely say that he really does protect me. So even when we are out there with the family, I don't feel like all exposed.
Yes, because you're protected.
I'm protected,
yeah.
yes. And even the aunties know. They'll even just say to me, come sit down. You know,
Wow.
yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm okay.
You're sorted. And then your role, or the role that your extended family plays, do they have a say in your marriage?
No.
How does that work?
No, you know, he mentioned earlier on that we are like a biblical type
Yes.
of family. So we understand that when we got married, we understood that it meant that we are leaving our families. So with us leaving our families, that means what we're building or what we have built so far is
yours.
between the two of us. So we don't allow any influence from the families. They may comment, but whatever they say, it's not influencing what we do here. What we have built so far has been only between the two of us and God, of course.
And how are you guys getting that right? Because it sounds so great and perfect, but reality is that a lot of people are struggling with this, right?
Yeah.
So what are the sort of tangible actions that you each do to make sure that you draw that boundary, you draw the line, and your family knows not to cross?
It's communication. It's clear communication. I mean, myself and Tebogo, when we started, when we were young, all right, it was, foot on the gas, 100% love. It was, nobody can tell us anything. But then we realized that, we started evolving as a couple. And the good thing about us when you say evolving, and I'll use a reference that everybody will understand. Will look at me. They used to call us walkie talk. We used to
Walk everywhere.
We used to walk everywhere. Right? So we used to have a starter pack with our shoes.
Yeah.
We're the same level. We've always been on the same level as we grew.
As you grow together. Yeah.
But the biggest lesson that I learned was I was out of work for 3 years when I started this. They were paid for my rent. She fed me. She gave me work to go to find interviews. She housed me in a one room. For 3 years, she gave me half of her salary every single month. She made sure that I'm out there. I was okay. Not
You are respected out
That's
there.
correct.
Yes.
So and then that's when I understood the evolution of a person and years and maturity. So we've tuned ourselves to understand, even to a point where she'll say, but man, babes, I don't know this person that you're evolving to right now. I'm missing this step. What's going on? Let's have a check because
there's a gap
missing
between.
lines.
Yeah.
That's correct. So we practice that, and that comes from a lot of counseling. Christianity, we're not ashamed to go for counseling. We're not ashamed to seek, get on our knees, go to the pastors. We're not afraid to even talk to each other and say, yo, babes, I can't do this now. Seriously, I'm telling you now.
It's the reality.
Because you tell the truth. Why is that? Because she will back me 100%, no matter
Wow.
what.
I'm so jelly. I'm so jelly. You guys sound like such an awesome and
No, it's
inspirational
difficult.
couple.
It's difficult for me. It's difficult to open up and tell her this, but I do it because 21 years later,
Who else can you do
I'm
it for?
still looking at you like,
Yeah. She's my babe. You know, Mandla, what you've just said is so profound. You know, I must say, I'm glad he actually answered this question, and he's the one that talks about counseling, because in our society, there's very few men that believe in counseling. There's very few men that think counseling works. And maybe that's because, you know, society frowns upon counseling. They think that if you're going to see a psychologist, you're in a loony bin. Or they think that if you're going to a pastor and talking to them about the problems you're having, it is counseling. So you might as well be going to a psychologist, because you are actually allowing a third person to talk to you guys about your own stuff. And purely because you need an objective view, you know. So yeah, I love what you say, and I think, you know, that's really the kind of shifting mindsets that we want to see. We've got to shift paradigms around those type of things, because a marriage can't fix itself. You know, you've got to play the part in fixing that. So I and this leads me, to my next question, which you've already partially answered, around the role that God plays in your marriage. And I know there's more stuff to talk about that. At the crux of it, you did say you're Christians and you're a biblical couple.
Yeah.
Talk to me about how involved is God in your marriage.
so, do you want to take the babes?
I would say, look, the marriage, like I said, our marriage is between the two of us and God. So he's involved in from when we started as a couple to as a dating couple to where we are now. So each and every step that we have taken has been with him. So I think that's what makes it easier for us to be able to cope, just the two of us, and not involve other like families and all, because we know we've got a God we can consult with. If we find ourselves in a difficult situation, we know where to go without talking to another person.
And give praise. It's always not about the difficult situations. I mean, every single morning we in the Word, and we discuss the Word. We reflect on the Word. Reflect on the role it plays within the family. We're not ashamed to talk about it everywhere we go. Yeah, sometimes I get into a zone because, you know, it gets heavy and deep, but she's there and we share it, and vice versa. So he is that.
Yeah, he's that cement.
Because remember, it said that it's him, and then the umbrella is the male, and then the wife is not represented on the umbrella, must love her as much as I love the church, and as I love God and himself. So therefore, when that, what do you call it, unison is cemented, it's connected. Man, we just work, man. Like it just work. I mean, a lot of people will tell you about blessings financially, materialistically. Babes, this is it.
I see the way he looks at you. I see the way he looks at you, girl. Like you're the only girl in the world. Wow. Oh wow.
You know, it's bigger than just hashtag financial hashtag material blessed. Although that, we're not gonna complain. We are grateful, but in terms of our children, our health, our friends that we've got, awesome people to associate ourselves with, you know, that we can rely on all the time. It's not my cleverness. It's not how we talk. It's not how. No, it can't be.
It's God himself. Yo, I know we can hold a church right now. Like, just. Anyway, I mean, we've spoken about how you met. We've spoken about the number of years that you've been together. We've spoken about the sacredness and how you've kept it together as just the two of you. And we've also spoken about how you've drawn the line so that extended family and friends don't come into this marriage. I want to talk about the impact of having kids on the intimacy of the marriage. You know, I suppose before the kids arrive, it's just the two of you.
Yeah.
And literally, you know, you have all the time to look at each other.
Yeah.
Now these two beautiful, amazing kids come into your life. that has an impact on the intimacy of the marriage. Let's talk about that.
Truth be told, I was selfish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's why we started becoming kids after 8 years being together, because I was selfish. I wanted her to myself.
Yes.
And then she was like,
It's time.
No, it's time.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
She was just tired of looking at your face all the time. She needed other faces.
Yeah. Little softer people around.
so it was interesting enough. It got to a point where, I mean, I don't think we felt a change between when we were dating and when we were married. It's still been the same laugh. It's still been the same direction. It's still been the same. Yeah, but the thing is, when you have kids, guys, you gotta be creative. Like, you see,
Does that include booking an appointment and booking a slot?
so what happens is we've had this open door policy always in our house. So kids can walk in
Jump in the room.
anytime. So we end up sometimes doing cleaning cupboards when there's no sense, and ask what are you doing? No, just doing cleaning cupboards.
Because the cupboards is cleaning.
Yes, and then last, but then one day they'll come, but why is Papa sleeping on the other side? Isn't that Papa's side? Your Papa's side is on this side. And you gotta be open to those things. But kids add another dimension to it's almost like I cannot picture not having them. You know, it's almost like it closes the circle.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I don't think the intimacy has gone. I think as you mature and
you adjust.
and
You become creative.
You become creative.
Yeah.
You adjust.
especially if your partner is open to creativity.
Yeah. I love it. So there's you see, the crux of it is let's be open to creativity, guys, around issues of intimacy when children are introduced in the marriage. Because, I mean, I know, I'm also married with 2 kids, so it can be very difficult. And that is why I asked the question, because, as a married woman, I know it does exist. And it's important for us to talk about it and share ideas to say, hey, these people are cramping the style, man.
No, I'm telling you now.
Yeah.
But the good thing about myself and Deborah is that, let's say, for example, like, we go into a phase of now we want to be healthy. So it's not like she'll run and be healthy on herself. No, I'll join in with her. Yeah, whatever she's hiking, cycling,
Do it together.
Do it together.
And do you think that kind of also improves the connectivity and the intimacy in a relationship?
Yeah, definitely.
Hundreds. I mean, I'm at the point where I'm so in tune with my wife that she'll say on a Friday, babes, I'll need a hotel room for the weekend. And we'll leave the kids and we'll go book in a hotel room for the weekend.
Oh, we are near our weekend.
You know what I'm saying? That's correct. Like also, to disconnect, yes, we love our kids.
Yeah, but I mean, we love each other more. Yeah.
I mean, to the point where even our kids sometimes are like, but you guys are going together again.
Yeah.
Guys, when you guys grow up,
you're going to leave us.
You're going to leave us.
Yes.
And my wife always says to me, babes, I want to be the couple that when the kids leave, we have to reintroduce ourselves.
And then you guys know you've got nothing more. Yeah. Because you've been so focused on these, and then these people. And you actually remind me, I know at some point my husband said to me, and it didn't sound right at the time, and he said to me he loves me more than his kids because, there is no other penny. There is no other penny. And I thought, but it doesn't sound right. He says, honestly speaking, we can make kids, we can make more kids, but I can't make another penny. At some point, and this was when I had my first child, and as a first time mom, you think this child is everything.
Yes.
And here comes this husband that says, no, I love you.
I'm still here.
So it's only now that it makes sense, and what you guys are saying, it's exactly, it's making even more sense to say that you prioritizing your partner is not being selfish, and when the kids do get married, in the same way that that you have not allowed extended family to get involved, your kids will not allow you to get involved in their lives.
That's correct.
So,
and my wife has got this brilliant way of explaining to my kids that, listen, I love daddy, and daddy, you guys will leave, but daddy's going to be with me all the time.
Oh, wait, yeah.
So
wow.
you have to consciously make time for each other.
For each
as
other.
a couple.
Something
Remember
jolly.
today. Yes.
Yeah, you must jolly.
You must still
So what do you
jolly.
do for jolly?
What do you do? So we've got this close couple of ours, close friends of ours.
Yeah.
So we do buys amongst each other. We take each other to restaurants. We don't do the same restaurants all the time.
Yeah.
So we're always making sure that we experience new things.
Yes.
We go on holidays together.
Yeah.
I mean, we hike.
So y'all have a life. Y'all have a good life.
I am so blessed in that. I mean, I started having high blood and hypertension and stuff like that, and I got this bike. All right, I'm off the bike, and my wife tells me straight, listen, babes, between 6 in the morning on Saturday and 12 o'clock, you do whatever.
Do your thing.
Right.
Do your rides.
Ride your
Yeah.
bike. We come back. It's family Sunday. It's family
Family
time.
time.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, Junior, there's no. I cannot recall in my 21 years that I've not spoken to her not more than 3 or 4 times in a day. It's always constant communication. Babes, what's happening? It's not because I consciously think about, I should be speaking to Deborah right now.
It just naturally happens.
It happens.
Yeah. When you're stuck in traffic, you just call and say, "Hey, babe, I'm stuck in traffic."
That's it.
Yeah.
Just to report.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's how we
Yeah.
And it becomes a default that it's just open communication. And then in counseling again, counseling is helped us in terms of when she says to me, "Yo, I've got a complaint, I drop everything because I know that it's a serious topic that we need to address right now." And we go through it, no matter how wrecked, tough it is.
we still
Even if I
do that.
keep win.
Yeah. Wow, guys, I really love this. I think love is a beautiful thing. And I love the fact that you guys are part of the percentage of couples that are evolving with the times. I like the fact that Tebogo goes on a weekend away with her friends and she does whatever. And because traditionally before, this is not something, I just don't see my mom having gone out for a weekend and leaving my dad at home. This is not something that was,
With the house left, it's intact.
Yeah, and then with the kids' homework done, with the kids being able to bath, cook,
Yeah.
So I love the fact that we're starting that journey, and it's proving to be a successful one.
Yeah.
It's proving not to box us into these roles, and this is why these roles are the reason we have gender-based violence today, because the role that says, I am your man and you are my woman, you must submit and you must do this, and if you don't, then I somehow feel that I have the right to do whatever it is to you because I possess you, you are mine. But anyway, I don't want to preach like Mandla was preaching earlier. The last question for me is, advice is advice, right? So it works, it doesn't work, people take it, they don't take it, but I do, out of everything else that you've said, what is the one thing that is critical that you would say people that are starting the journey of marriage today, and I mean, I know that the divorce rate has been increasing year on year.
Yeah.
So people that are starting this marriage journey, what advice would you have? I mean, not a whole book, but one line each of you. What would you advise them?
Okay. It's important to understand that yes, marriage is the most beautiful thing, but it's not all roses.
Yes.
Understand what you are going into, and know if you are actually ready to commit to this person. Because if you're committing to this person, it is for a long haul. Yeah. So you have to be ready for it, and also understand that there is no such thing as perfection. There is no perfect marriage. There's no such thing. So you must know that you can get in a person, like we were talking earlier on, he is everything else, but he's not a handy guy. And I have to be okay with that.
Yeah.
Yes. So know that you will get 80% of what you're looking for, but there is never such a thing
80% over 80.
Yo,
as perfection.
you are very high.
I'm just teaching.
Hey man, just
Yeah,
I mean, you can't get 100% because you are not perfect. So in the same way you want someone to accept you, you've got to accept. Let's say, where is she? You are 80. We know you are 80.
Yeah, myself. I tend to, when it comes to this marriage, thing, I tend to advise, I tend to just give you how I have dealt with this and how it's been success for us. Number one, I've never seen anybody to say, man, how are you making your marriage work? What's the secret? Because everybody else has got their own ways of how they manage.
And we're different people.
Different people, you know. So how I've always viewed it is, the book, the word, the Bible is 100% what we follow. We are aligned with the principle of what the Bible requires. But on top of that, what I've realized is that Tebogo has been raised from a different background than I am. Alright? And it's not that her background is less inferior than mine, and mine is more superior than hers, and vice versa. She's got her own dreams, her own expectations. And why God put us together, it's like a flame, two flames together. It's put us together so we can be one big light and must complement and make sure each other shines for His glory and His benefit. So I understand that she's got her own desires, her own goals. I'm just here. I don't complete the role. She's her own being. She does it on her own shine. Myself, I'm just here to make sure I love her and compliment her and make sure that, listen, when we commit to each other, it's 100% done. So my advice is you know what, you look to a partner, counsel, look to a partner, and you know what, you gotta love that person enough that your own selfishness does not hinder the communion together. You know, we are all inherently selfish, right? When you the kids, with kids, you know, if you're gonna compete against your child for the affection of your wife, thinking that I know they're taking it, you got the wrong thing. So my advice is, look at yourself. First conquer conquer the monsters in you first before you go into the we. Because the we is another person's own things as well. So therefore, if you're not comfortable with the I, you're not gonna make the we work. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, that's heavy. Yeah. Thank you so much for making the time, guys. You are an inspiration. I mean, and I know you are saying, you've shared with us today with a disclaimer that it's not all rosy, but you've made it work. You know, 21 years of being together. I mean, because for me, I think marriage is just, you know, officializing being together, but you have been together for 21 years. And you know, the way you look at it, you know, Mandla, you look at it like you met her yesterday. You know, the love is fire, so that flame is still there. But yeah, guys, it's been such an awesome, great conversation, very inspiring, because, you know, love is a beautiful thing, and I think having spoken to you guys, you know, I'm falling in love all over again. I want to make my marriage work. I want that 21 years of being together with my husband. Really, really thankful for sharing your personal story with my viewers on the hot seat. And yeah, guys, love is a beautiful thing, and Mandla and Tebogo Malumane have just inspired me around what love should look like and how do we make things work when it comes to love, and also not leaving out God. You know, there is no one else that should come in a marriage except God. But thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. If you are tuning in for the first time, don't forget to subscribe. And looking forward to you tuning in with the other episode. Thank you so much. It's been an awesome show.